What is up, Wise Take Nation? It's your boy BrewMedic47 here, back out on my porch. Here with my PGA DFS compatriot, my brother in arms, Wow, I almost said Cashin. Wow, sorry. I had a brain fart there. A little shout out to the OG, my man Cash and DFS, pour one out. Anyways, he's not here. I do miss him though. But Shockey's here. Shockey's cool too. Shockey's nice. Shockey's all right. Shockey's killing like esports. Shockey's making a ton of money playing esports, huh?
I guess you can call it a ton. I'm not rolling him. It's not the Brinks truck, but it's nice.
I mean, you had enough in your bankroll to max out the $5, right?
Yeah, this week, yeah. But I could have done that with golf winnings too. I've only.
Oh, okay. Okay, humble brag.
4 out of 5 weeks profit.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty damn good, my dude. Pretty damn good. Not gonna lie. Yeah. You had a good week last week. Not one of your better weeks recently, but still pretty good.
I did. Yeah, it was a lot of my. It's like each tier just had like a guy miss the cut and all that. It was not overall a great output, but Morikawa, who I thought would be lower owned, was not. And then Justin Thomas ended up being under 10% in some of my contests. Well, I was like, if he was going to be under 10%, I would have had a lot of Justin Thomas.
Yeah, that's fair.
I only wasn't playing him because of his ownership, but I mean, I'm not going to dog. I was one of the best iron player on the planet at an iron course. Yep. It was just the ownership, but he did it, and then he choked. Like no one else could choke before, up by 3 with 3 holes left, makes a 50-footer on the first playoff hole, then Morikawa somehow makes it, misses a 6-footer to win it.
Yeah.
On the hole that he had a putt in the 18th, his final regulation hole, and then hits behind a tree, and once he hit behind the tree, you knew it was over.
I mean, I feel like it's disingenuous to say that JT choked when, like, the first playoff hole he drains a 50-foot putt.
I thought it was over right then and there.
Yeah, like it's. Imagine Morikawa didn't make the putt after that, and then we're having a completely different conversation this week. Like I understand, like there's been some issues with JT regarding being able to close out tournaments, but it just doesn't feel right saying that he choked. Like, okay, yeah, he made 2 bogeys.
And in the final 3 holes, when you're up by 3, that's choking it.
Those 3 holes, they're not easy holes. Dude, they're widely known as the Muirfield Maulers.
I don't know, no one, they're widely known to you and only you as that, and you call them the murderers over the weekend. So you don't even know what you name them. But it's just like
name,
but they're with it
received.
If it was a worse golfer like JT, all he had to do was par out and he wins.
Yeah,
that's all he had to do.
Yep.
It's not like Morikawa was like he drained 3 birdies in the row and it was putting the pressure on. No, he just didn't screw it up.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much. But in the same breath, he did screw it up. What, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? Like when he lipped out on the first playoff hole from like within 10 feet, and it was within 5 feet, I think, if I remember correctly. Like, I don't know. I don't feel right calling JT a choker. I'm not a big fan of the. I'm not on that train. Anyway, in our chat.
Well, just for this event, he choked it. Yeah. I'm not calling him a choker for all his things. He just did it for this weekend.
I mean, that's a fair statement, but I'm hearing people saying like JT has a history of choking, and like this like cements it. I'm like, I don't know
if you're up by like 1 stroke with a few holes left, that's could go either way. There's a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jeremy. Yes. The answer to your question is yes. Both of those individuals are in my article for cash this week. So Cantlay is probably safer, as Taylor said, but anytime you can get Rory that low, yeah, he's in consideration. But we'll get into the picks in a little bit. Who do you think is the first golfer to bogey? Bogey?
No, yeah, I know. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, that's your NASCAR boy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you field those questions then. So, anyways, welcome everyone to the PGA DFS Wise stream, the free Wise stream for anyone and everyone who wants to watch some golf stuff. I'm here to talk about some golf. And wow, Shockey's write-up just got posted. Look at you go.
What?
Said your write-up just got posted.
Oh yeah, I have it done on Tuesdays.
Okay, look at you go. Aw, thanks, Shockey. You're so sweet.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so we're here, the free PGA DFS Wise stream. If you are here for the first time or for the 18th time, 100th time, please give us some love. Click that like button, subscribe, follow us, do what you got to do. We appreciate it tremendously. Jump in chat, throw some questions at us. We will field them as best as we can for approximately the next hour or so. Yeah, so we talked about last week a little bit. I didn't win a cent. It was a bad week for me. Cash, like I said, I primarily play cash, and that's just one lineup. And I had 4 of 6, which had a shot, had a chance, but Hadwin decided he couldn't make a birdie for like
29 holes.
2.5 days. 1.5 days. And yeah, and then Streelman just shoots like even after absolutely dominating the course on like Friday, shooting like -8. So just wasn't in the cards. Tringale had a shot going into the Muirfield Murderers, and he went bogey, par, bogey. So that pretty much killed him too. So
while Jerry Kelly is making cuts.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'd love. Who doesn't like Jerry Kelly that no one plays because he's not good making cuts.
Old man Kelly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our week. I could get into the course this week, but it's the same exact course as last week. So I don't. What?
Yeah. The only thing I added this week, I was all over irons, and I added a little bit off the tee this week to go along with tee to green irons approach and ball striking, and a little bit of sand saves, because those greenside bunkers can get especially on those par threes, you can get into trouble if you're not good at getting out of those sand bunkers.
If you're in the sand on this course, you're fucked. That's
only the green side ones.
Even the fairway, like even a fairway.
Yeah, but those greenside bunkers, the way those pin placements can be set up right next to the bunker, if you hit that short side bunker, you're screwed. You're not chipping with inside. You're not getting it below the hole. You're above the hole every time.
No, I'm absolutely on board with you. But these fairway bunkers are very deep too. They have very very tall lips, and they can really fuck with your game too. Don't discredit the fairway bunkers, Jeremy. I love it.
I'm worried about Poulter and that. His irons have been terrible.
Dude, he showed some good shit last. I mean, he putted really well. Like,
yeah, he gained 9 strokes putting.
Yeah, he made like 400 feet of putts, which is just absurd.
Which he's not going to do this week.
Probably not, but I don't hate Poulter. I certainly don't hate him.
I looked at him. It's just his irons were. He's lost immense amount of strokes the last 2 weeks.
Well, here.
Yeah, we'll get to Bazoonhout. Don't worry, you stay for the entire show. I'll get to Bazoonhout. That's my boy.
Oh God, that's my boy. All right. Well, we're kind of just wandering around here, so let's.
Okay.
We'll circle our efforts here. So, maybe Poulter hasn't actually ever played here aside from last week. So, anyways, yeah, this course, it's the same as last week. It's irons, tee to green. The rough should be a little bit longer this week. So maybe a little bit more of a premium on driving accuracy as opposed to distance. It is a par 72. There are 4 par 3s and 4 par 5s. There will not be a 300-yard par 4 this week like there was last week. So just this course is going to be harder, right? Cut line should be in the positive numbers. Winning score should be, I think, around 10.
No, like if you look through the past years, though, it was consistently 13 to 15 under.
Yeah,
like Cantlay won it last year at 19 under.
Yeah, I mean 10 was
I
a conservative figure, but I
think you see what you saw last. Other than the top 3 or 4 those top 2 guys, I think you see more of the 11 unders being in the top 10 still, and then you get your 6 and 7s in the top 30.
Yeah.
If you just take out the top 3 guys, Hovland, Morikawa, and Thomas, and if Gary Woodland, actually you can include Hovland, Gary Woodland, Hovland, I could see that being a first, second kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
But and it's because you also have guys playing it back-to-back weeks, so they've got it. It's like practicing, but for real. So and then they get to practice more.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no travel.
Yes. Oh, really? They don't have to travel this week?
Well, some of them don't.
Yeah, well, that's true. So
I don't know where the other guys were.
Yeah. So yeah, rough is gonna be a little thicker, so a little bit higher premium on accuracy off the tee. Obviously, distance. Distance is never a disadvantage, so distance is always in play. But you got to hit these greens. They ought to be a little bit faster than last week, but there's also, I guess, rain in the forecast. So
a Wednesday, Thursday, I don't see much rain, but it's also Tuesday, so
yeah, that could
actually now it changed in the last 2 hours, so it's like a chance of Thursday and Friday, but a chance.
Yeah, which
probably what we saw. Well, it's not like huge storms, like they scattered thunderstorms.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to depend. The greens are going to be faster, and the pin locations. I mean, this course is going to play like a big boy course. So the pins are going to be really, really fucking difficult spots, because that's what the Golden Bear wants for his event at his course. And everyone's going to try to be getting that handshake on Sunday after 18, which apparently he basically said, "Fuck you, COVID. I'm gonna shake the winner's hand." He's like, I'll give him a handshake, I'll give him a fist bump, I'll give him an elbow, but what I'm not gonna give them is COVID-19. So Jack Nicklaus, wow, really taking a stand there on COVID-19. So good old Golden Bear. Anyways, so again, we're still kind of meandering. So let's get into this week. Let's head on this 10K range. Like I said, I mean, if you guys want to know about the course, watch last week's breakdown. I'm not going to take up that much time this week because it's mostly going to be the same. Just like I said, rough is going to be a little thicker, greens might be a little faster, and the pins are going to be in difficult locations. So that is what to expect. So 10K and up, we have Morikawa at 1,000 and Bryson DeChambeau at 11-1. What do you like? What do you like up here, Shockey? Tell me what you got.
Dustin Johnson, 10,300, about 11-ish% projected ownership. I like that. He's projected to be the lowest among these 10K guys. Other than actually, Morikawa is below 10%. Sorry, as of right now. But Johnson over his last.
Driving accuracy is very important. Sorry.
What?
Driving accuracy, very important.
I put it in consideration. I mean, you can.
I think it's far more important here than the average tour course. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, over his last 12 rounds, Dustin Johnson is 25th in approach, 9th tee to green, 10th in ball striking, 6th in opportunities gained. In his last 3 events, his irons have gotten better each time, losing 1.5 at the Charles Schwab, gaining 3.1 at the RBC, and gaining 6 at where he won at the Travelers a couple weeks ago. His putter also gained strokes for the first time, gaining an immense 6 strokes at the Travelers. Don't expect that, but at least he showed he can once again putt for one event, so that's good to see. At this course, in the last 12 rounds he's played it, he's 3rd in off the tee and ball striking, 7th in total strokes gained and tee to green, and 6th in approach, being a decent putter at 35th at this course in the last 12 rounds. With this and a low ownership compared to the 3 guys above him, I'll take him. And then I'll go to Justin Thomas. Maybe chasing something here, but I hope not. But, I mean, over his last 12 rounds, he's 5th in approach, 4th in tee to green, 6th in ball striking. Missed his cut of the Travelers, and it was his only since a break where he lost strokes on his approach and putting. Hasn't had the great numbers at this course other than last week, but that showed it wasn't as a huge problem last week. He's number 1 in my model over the last 12 rounds as well, which beats out DeChambeau, who's 7th, and McIlroy, who is 30th. I would take him for basically the same price and the same ownership. That's it. There's only 5 guys. I'm only going to name 2.
Yeah, that's fair. That's solid. Yeah, so up here in this 10K range, there's really 2 cash plays for me up here. Obviously, Morikawa, right at 10,000. You know, he's probably my favorite cash play in this range. If you want to go up this high, you know, he did win last week, but I mean, this kid is just fucking good. I mean, he is just exceptional at golf. He's doing things that haven't been done since Tiger was a rookie on tour. So, you know, obviously he grades out well in the model. He's going to pop in everyone's model, no matter what you're looking at. Super accurate off the tee, great tee to green, great ball striker. So for cash purposes, I feel good about Morikawa making the cut. And then Rory. I want to touch on Rory. I know, you know, Wes said, you know, with the driving accuracy being important here, which I contend it is, or as Shaki puts it in cosniteration.
What?
Shaki says.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
He puts it in the cosniteration.
I mix up 2 letters.
You know, you got to remember, for cash, you just want guys to make the cut, and I feel good about Rory making the cut, and he has winning upside. Rory can dominate any course, any day of the week. You know, yes, his driving accuracy has been kind of sketchy since the tour resumed, but his distance is still there, and if you're gonna miss, you gotta be fucking long. You know, and that's Rory. You know, irons have been decent, ball striking still really good, tee to green is very good, and more importantly, he's pretty good on these long par 4s, the most difficult holes on this course, and at the long proximity ranges. So, you know, I think, you know, anytime you can get Rory, who's week in and week out usually the most expensive golfer, but this week we have exceptionally soft pricing.
I don't know, because DeChambeau, with how he's been playing with his finishes, is why, and Justin Thomas coming in second last week, so the odds are better on him.
Just the fact that he's the top price golfer, and the top price golfer is 11-1.
Yeah.
You know, not 11-5, not 11-7. You know, he's 11-1. And we have a massive 9K range.
From the 4 guys last week.
Yeah, exactly. So, which I'll get into. Also, yeah, I'm totally with you on DJ as a GPP play. I think a lot of people are going to forget that he won recently. And he won in his last event. And he's looking very good. So, while his numbers aren't going to pop that well, yeah, he's still DJ, and he's looking like DJ again. So, yeah, I'm definitely with you for GPPs playing DJ. The 9K range for cash for me, obviously can't lie. You know, the course history, he won here last year. And then again, he's playing very well.
One, he had an amazing Sunday to get him into the top 10, but other than that, he was in 40th. He was in 40th going into Sunday.
Okay,
and then he decided. No, I had him. I played him.
Yeah.
I was just like, so you just decide one day you want to play golf, not the rest of the days where you could have won this event.
The important thing is that he didn't kill himself those days before. He didn't shoot himself out of it. He still got that T7, despite being in like the middle of the pack going into the day. That's all that matters. And he found something on Sunday, and I'm looking for him to carry it over into this week and have a good shot at defending his title from last year.
I wanted him to go back to back to back.
Yes, absolutely. Next up, Hovland. Obviously, Hovland, like I said before with Morikawa, these kids are very, very good. Hovland in the last 24 rounds is actually better than Morikawa approach, ball striking, and tee to green.
Can I tell you a fun stat?
Tell me a fun stat.
Before last week's event, Hovland was first in strokes gained tee to green in 3 straight weeks.
Yeah, which I feel like that hasn't been done in a very long time. Can I tell you a crazy stat?
Sure.
And I love Big Dick.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So
Big Vic.
I'm on Vic as well this week in cash. Obviously, he's 4th in my GPP model, 1st overall in this field approach, 2nd in ball strike, 2nd in green. And then for me, it's going to be Matsuyama, which is kind of a risky GPP play, obviously, because we never know with his putter. But I like that the last 2 weeks, he's only lost 2.5 strokes putting.
And he gets to play it for a second time.
Exactly. So Matsu at 900, irons are still elite, ball striking is still elite. He's 1st in this field in tee to green in the last 24 rounds. So still exceptional on these super long par 4s, exceptional in the long proximity range. So I feel good about Matsu. We just have to hope if he can only lose a stroke and a half putting, he should easily top 10, top 5 this. So that's where I'm at in cash. It's going to be Cantlay, Hovland, and Max doing this range for me. And I got to run real quick. I'll be right back. You talk about the 9K, take us into the 8K.
Okay. I also like Hideki Matsuyama. He's one of my favorites in this 9K range. I don't think he'll be that highly owned with Tiger, Xander. Steven draw ownership. Rahm's super cheap. He'll draw ownership. Cantlay will draw ownership. So I think it leaves Hideki. Hovland's got to draw ownership. It would leave Hideki in the middle of this price range, just at low ownership compared to the rest of these guys. And he has, even though his price, he's back-to-back 25s. His irons in back-to-back events with those top 25s has gained over 5 strokes. Now it is his putting where he's lost over 2 strokes in putting, but that's him. Hopefully, he, like I said, can play in this course 2 times in a row. He got a feel for the greens. They will be a little bit different, but at least he has somewhat of a feel for them. Over his last 12 rounds, he's 16th in approach, 14th in tee to green and ball striking, 15th in opportunities gained and off the tee. At this course, over his last 12 rounds, he's 9th in total strokes gained, 6th in tee to green, 4th in ball striking, and 10th in approach, and actually an average putting at 56. Which, if he's 56 in strokes gained putting this week with how his irons have been, I feel really good about him having a really good finish. And then my next guy will be Webb Simpson, probably around that same ownership as Hideki, just because of all the other guys. But after missing the first cut of the year, since the break, he came back with a win and an 8th place finish where he gained 5.7 strokes and 4.6 strokes on approach in those weeks. Also gained 6.6 in putting and 1.3. Has played this event twice in the last 5 years, in 17 and 16. Finished 67th and 11th. Nothing great, but he's coming in great form. has 2 wins on this calendar year and 2 top 10s in the calendar year. And then my next guy, I'll go back to Brooks Koepka. Played him last week, missed the cut by 1, but he should be one of, if not the lowest owned guy in this 9K range. He finally gained strokes on approach for the first time since the break, with every week getting better as he lost 4.9 the first event, 0 strokes gained in the second event, and gained like 0.9 last week. It was his putter and off the tee that was his worst. Still gained strokes off the tee, but his putting lost strokes for the first time since the break. But other than that, his putting's been amazing, so it's off the tee, so I'm not too worried about him, especially since he gets to play this course again. And then Cantlay will be an honorable mention just because of what he's done at this course and seeming that he still can just dominate this course, what he did on Sunday. And then I'll go in the 8K range. I'll go back to one of my boys. You remember one of my boys before the break?
Should we talk about Tiger?
Oh, sorry. I'll talk about Tiger. I'm not playing any. I won't play any Tiger. He'll be too chalky for me at 9K. First event since like February, unless you want to count that match play with Tom Brady, Phil Mickelson, and Peyton Manning, which I am not. He had, like, if you see, like last year, he did come in 9th and a 23rd and 71st, but at that price and that ownership, he'd really have to come in top 5 to really kill me in GPPs. Maybe top 10, but I mean, I don't really like first event back, and I never know what to expect out of him with his inconsistency. Like if he was below 10%, I'd have interest in him. At one of the chalkiest guys, no thanks. I'd rather take my shot on guys that have been playing and have shown improvements and have the ability, just as much as him, and way more to win things.
Yeah, so I'm going to play him in one of my 3 lineups because I build 1 cash lineup a week and then I build 3 GPP lineups. There's always a bump with Tiger. Obviously, his name in and of itself carries some ownership. But I think Hovland is safer in cash there, Jeremy. But Hovland or Simpson, I think Hovland. But this week, I like the price. You know, I like that he's 9K, and I think a lot of people are gonna. I think there's gonna be a degree of people overthinking themselves. I'm not gonna go super heavy on Tiger, but I think people are gonna say, "Oh no, he's gonna be super chalky, so I don't want to play him," and which tends to drive ownership down. So if he's around like 15%, you know, I'll take that as a win. So I'm gonna play him on one lineup. We'll see what happens. Just in the off chance that does happen, because we do see it happen. And he's Tiger. We know that he can win anywhere and everywhere. So, and he's won here, I think, 5 times in the past. So that's my take on it.
I think he's won 1 time. Right? I thought he's won 1 time.
Look it up.
Hang on. Go ahead. You go to the 9K, 8K range. I'll look it up.
Range. So 8K range, we have Rose at the top, LOL, and Jason Day at the bottom. Obviously, I'm not playing Rose after he was super chalky. And what do you got? Are you playing Rose? Because he's cheap and gonna have no ownership. Yeah.
You know I love those guys.
Yep.
They're great. They're great. But
so for me, it's Berger. I do love me some Berger. Berger just looks like really good right now. So
that's that's my point. I shouldn't let you lead the 8K range because Berger is my guy.
You made this choice. You told me.
I know. I made a poor decision.
So we got first at the Schwab, 3rd at the RBC, and hasn't played since. But that's fine. The game looks really good. It's super dialed in. He hasn't played here much. But, again, irons are super great. Scrambling is even really good. So even if he misses these greens, you know, he should be fine. Long par 4s are good. Tee to green is good. Driving accuracy is super good. So, yeah, definitely Daniel Berger in cash. And then we got my man Abraham Answer. What'd you find?
Yeah, he did win it. 5 times because he won it 3 years in a row at 99, 2000, 2001.
Well, that'll do it.
But that's also when he was like 20 years old.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing like several videos of him like celebrating like chip-ins for birdie and stuff at.
Well, PGA Tour did the same thing with Rahm and his chip. They like comparing things. So, but go ahead.
Anyways, answer 7th in my model. Super good ball striker. Irons are really good. Super accurate off the tee. He's playing really well. He's playing very good golf. T14, second place, and T11. Last 3 events he played since the tour picked up. So definitely love Answer. I'm sure he's going to be exceptionally chalky, but whatever, that's fine. And then down here, my last cash play in this range is going to be my boy, Matty Fitzpatrick. Fitzy, again, he's been a darling of mine since the tour has resumed. And fun fact, he has Bones on the bag. Bones, for those of you who don't know, is a legendary caddy who caddied Phil Mickelson for many, many, many years before retiring and going into broadcasting. So Fitzpatrick's normal caddy is like sequestered in Europe for COVID reasons. And Bones was like, well, I want to caddy these next 2 weeks. So he like texted Fitzpatrick out of nowhere and was like, hey, you want me to caddy for you? So Bones is a very well-seasoned caddy. He's been doing this for like 20 years. He's been here with Phil almost every single one of those years. He knows this course probably better than anyone else here, if not amongst the best out of anyone else here. And Fitzpatrick is good. I mean, he's playing good golf. He missed the cut of the traffic, which sucked. But other than that, he's making cuts. T14, T32nd, T27. He kind of struggled a little bit early in the week, but then seemed to kind of make some adjustments.
His putting.
His
putting's been saving him.
And yes, he is a good putter.
Yeah, his putting's been saving him because other than that, he's not like anything fantastic anywhere else. It's just over 5 strokes gained putting in 2 of those weeks and 4.6 last week.
But I'm expecting the rest of his game to get there because his driving accuracy is good. His greens and reg are good. Scrambling's good. He's good on these long par 4s. So I think the rest of his game will get there. If his putting is good and he's consistently a good putter, I'm willing to play the game of that staying the course and the rest of his game getting better. Because he is a better iron player than 63rd in the field, which he is currently in the last 24 rounds. Kuchar gets an honorable mention. Cash King Kuchar. He played well last week. So
he came out on fire, then just kind of cooled off at the weekend.
He cooched off.
No, we're not. No.
Yep. So, yeah, Kuchar, honorable mention. Probably not going to make a write-up, but he's Kuchar. He's almost playing for cash. So that's the 8K range. So now you take the 8 and the 7.
Well, okay. Well, Berger, answer. Same thing, but Berger was my guy long before yours. I played him like 6 straight weeks before the break. But before the break, he had 2 top 5s and a top 10. Yeah, like you said, a win and a third. Irons, in the 2 events he's played since the break, he gained 5.4 and 2.1 strokes. Also, his putting gained over 5 strokes both times. In his last 12 rounds, he's 7th in approach, 5th tee to green, and 12th in ball striking. Hasn't played this event since 2016, where he came in 67th, but he was not playing at the level he was playing before that event. Then answer, he's actually in the last 12 rounds, the number 1 iron player. He's actually been better than Hovland. In the 3 events he's played since the break, he gained 4.7, a massive, ridiculous 11.8, and a 4.2 on approach. And that's the reason he's over Hovland, because he gained almost 12 strokes on approach in 1 event. Putter's been there, gained strokes 2 of the 3 times, and in those 3 weeks, he's got 2 top 15s, a 2nd place finish. He's going to be chalky, but that's fine with how he's been just tee to green, and irons have just been phenomenal. Then I'll go back to Ricky. Played him last week, just had a poor Sunday where he was in the top 10 on the front 9 of Sunday and then fell to 26. It's like, sweet. 22nd. Where he actually came in 22nd and lost 2.1 on approach. It was the first time since the break where he lost strokes on approach. But he gained strokes putting, and he gained strokes in putting in back-to-back events. The last 3 years at this event, not including last week, at this event because of the field difference, he has a 2nd, an 8th, and a 14th last year. I would expect his irons come back to gaining strokes again, and then his putter just keeps on rolling. And if he comes under 10% owned, that'd be great for me for what he's done at this course and even what he did last week with having terrible irons. And Justin Rose, favorite leverage play. Not my favorite play of the AK range, but my favorite leverage play of the AK range. That's what I said. What?
Smart of you to specify that.
Yeah, thank you. First things first. Yes, he has sucked his last 2 events. Yes, guys around his price are playing better, and yes, he has been trending downwards. That doesn't bother me. At a discounted price and maybe super loan is why I like him. No one else in this price range was projected lower than him. In the past 2 years at this event, he did play at 15, but I want to go more recent than that. In the past 2 years, he's a 6th and a 13th last year. If he does come in at super loan, I think he's the best leverage play. Knowing he knows this course, recency bias, he just completely shit the bed with 10 over through 2 days. And I just put it behind him because how much worse can you get other than like Daman, who shot 16 over, and Ryan Palmer, who shot like 14 over. But he'll put that. Guy? What?
Who's that guy? What? Who shot 16 over?
Damon.
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 Like how his name is spelled. Da.
Yeah.
Man.
Look at like the English language and how like word enunciation operates.
I am the English language. I decide what I say. Okay, 7K range. Doc Redman. Yes, I'm going back to my boy Doc Redman because he's not $8,000 and he's not chalk. He's more expensive than he was the first 3 weeks of the break, but that's fine with me. In his 4 events since the break, he has a 58th, then a 21st, an 11th, and a 21st. Made all 4 cuts since he's played. Has gained strokes on approach all 4 times and is 4th in the field in the last 12 rounds on approach. Has only played this event once, which was 2 years ago. He missed a cut. It doesn't bother me. He's playing great. His irons have just been fantastic. Only getting strokes putting once, which was his last event. And it wasn't his best finish, but that's what Redman is. He's not a great putter. He's a poor man's Hideki.
That's fair.
But he's been playing, but except he has better irons lately than Hideki. So overall, poor man's Hideki. In that span as well, he's 11th tee to green and 3rd in ball striking, 2nd in opportunities gained, and actually 19th in off the tee. As long as he doesn't implode with his putter, he could get a top 25. But you never know. If he implodes and loses 3 strokes, he could still make the cut. But his upside, where he finishes, all depends on what his putter decides to do. I'll go back to Corey Connors. Probably around that same ownership of last week, which I got him around 6-7%. He's made 3 of the 4 cuts with 2 top 25s and finished 39th last week. Irons have been good, gaining 2 or more strokes on approach all 4 times. And putting is his woes, just like Redman, but just don't lose too many because strokes on putting, just irons. It's like if you're just hitting the greens and all that like for how well Connors and Redman have been, their irons have been, I'll take the putting woes over guys that have slightly better putters but worse irons. That's how I like approaching it. And then I'll go. Lucas Glover is back in the field, and I'm going back to him. In his 4 events since the break, all 4 top 25s. One was an easy event with the Rocker Mortgage, but the other 3 were good fields. He's On approach in his 4 events, he's gained 5.2, 3, 7.3, and 5 strokes gain on approach. Tee to green was 6.2, 4.3, 4.8, and 6.4. Gained strokes putting in 2 of the 4, and when he's lost strokes putting, it hasn't been that terrible. He has played this event 5 straight years, made the cut 5 straight years. Nothing great to go with it. Nothing amazing finishes, but made the cut. He's playing great golf. And I think he'll have his best. If he continues this way, he could have his best finish out of all those 5 years before this year. And at 7,100, I'll take that. He doesn't even have to do. He could come in 30th and pay off his price, but he might get a 5th straight top 25. Roy Sabatini is projected at super low ownership, which I'm just baffled by after the way he's been playing and played last week here.
Yeah. You know I'm a Sabatini mark, so.
Yeah, and I pick and choose my Sabatini battles. I don't like playing. Well, I don't like playing Sabatini when he's highly owned. That's highly owned for his price range. But I saw 2% earlier today, and I was like, that's just crazy. Let me look at. I updated it. Let me see what it is. Nope, still 2%. If it comes 2%, I mean that's just stupid low for what he's done. He's made 3 of 4 cuts with 2 top 20s, a 17th last week, and a top 25. He has gained strokes tee to green and approach and putting, and 3 of those made cuts. Terrible showing in Rocket Mortgage, but everybody has a terrible event. Has only 1 bad event with 3 good ones. Has made the cut in this event back-to-back years with a 44th and a 27th last year. At this ownership, course history, way he's been playing, way he played last week at the same course, why not at 7,500? It's a good play. I'll go to a guy, I don't play all that often, but Kevin Na, going to be probably super low. Has played only 2 events since the break. Last one was the Travelers, missed the cut at the Charles Schwab, came 5th at the Travelers, but he gained strokes tee to green, off the tee, and approach. In both those events. Lost strokes putting at the Charles Schwab, but then gained 5.6. I mean, Kevin Na, he's a good putter. He's not terrible. Has played this event 3 of the past 5 years. 18 was a miscut, 16 74th, 15 was the 13th. But I like him as a cheap, low-owned option that has been. His overall statistics has been good through 2 events. Then Sepp Straka. I don't think you'll have Sepp Straka. Do you? Do you?
I do.
Oh my God. I think that's like these weird 7K guys. But in his last 12 rounds, he's 34th in approach, 25th tee to green, 26th in ball striking. He's made 3 of 4 cuts since the break, a 33rd and 8th and a 14th last week. In all those made cuts, he's gained strokes, tee to green, approach, and putting. I don't expect a top 15 this week with this field, but the way he's been playing, I expect him to make the cut, $7,000. Anything after making the cut, like you sneak into that top 30, I'll be very happy. I'll give you another chance. And then my last guy, Ben An.
I had a feeling you were going to be on him.
Well, no, I'm not high on him. But he's in my 7K player pool.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, he had his Thursday last week. What?
Yeah. If he putts okay, yeah, I mean he could fucking win this event.
Like if you his Thursday last week, I think he shot 3 over, and then 3 or 4 over. So shot 4 over Thursday, and then was 2 under. Like, he was 6 under on Friday, like, through the first 9 holes on Friday and on the verge of making the cut. Then the weather delay happens. That was an hour and a half, and then just fell apart. Like, he shot 2 over after the weather delay. The weather delay killed all of his momentum for making the cut. But over his past 4 years at this event, he's had a T11th, a 25th, a 2nd, and a 17th. And I say if that weather delay doesn't happen last week, he makes the cut. Just because it kills all your momentum. When you're riding that hot of a streak to start off your day, like, you don't want it to stop and just stop it. But I'll go back to him. He's not going to be – he'll probably be what he was on last week, 7 to 9%, so nothing crazy. But that's my 7K range.
All right. Yeah. So my 7K range. Obviously I'm with you on Straka. So I won't go too deep into him. But for cash purposes, not a ton in the upper 7K range for me that I'm overly comfortable with. Neiman, I guess you could play, if you want to, pay that price. He's fair. He gets an honorable mention for me. Casey, yeah, I mean, I like Casey, but I don't know. I think he's going to be owned, and because he pops really highly in my model. And
yeah, but he's only played one event.
Yeah, exactly. So that's concerning. But my first cash play up here is obviously going to be Kevin Streelman. It worked last week, and I'm expecting it to work again this week. He just plays really fucking well at this course. And it helps that he's also in pretty good form with a T7 and a second place in the last 2 weeks. So, and then 2 missed cuts before that, but whatever. He loves this course. He loves this event. His numbers grade out very well. Approach is good. Driving accuracy is good. He's pounding greens. Ball striking is great. So, love me some Streelman. Poulter gets an honorable mention again. Yeah, his approach numbers aren't fantastic, but he looked. He's putting exceptionally well. He putted exceptionally well last week, and while he probably doesn't putt as well this week, because putting variance is just variance. It's what it is. He gets an honorable mention out of me. But then, Rory Sabatini, obviously completely with you there. I love him even more if it's going to be super low owned. Everything you said, I agree with, so I won't harp on that any longer. Billy Horschel at 7,500. Grades out decently well with my model. No overly terrible numbers. Everything's just pretty solid. T7 last week at this same course. So hopefully he can, I'm counting him to stay hot and keep going there. Good on these long par fours. Good from the long proximity ranges. Good ball striker. Good scrambler. And then my Canadian boy, Adam Hadwin. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So driving distance is his worst number and drags him down, but he's still pretty accurate off the tee. He's good with hitting greens, really good on long par fours. So I will certainly. Did you know he was born in like Moose Jaw? Did you see that? Adam Hadwin was born in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you're the only one fascinated by that.
So that's not a glow up. He is the most famous person from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I'd be willing to bet. I just can't believe he came from a place named Moose Jaw, which is like the most Canadian name I could possibly think of. So Streelman, Horschel, Sabatini, Hadwin, Straka is pretty much my 7K range for cash. I'll get into the 6K range, and I will say there is not a lot. There is not much down here that I like for cash purposes. Obviously, Bazundenhout, God bless you, Hout. I'm not going to talk about him because I know he's your boy. So.
Boy. You're Duffner. That's what I have. Course history. Good he made the cut last week.
Trying to get caught up on the chat here.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of chat going on this week.
Oh, my God. What is going on? Is the 6K range playable this week? Norlander, yeah, definitely. I mean, Norlander's probably the best cash play down here, if we're being completely honest with ourselves.
I played him last week, but then I was like, oh, should I go? He's cheaper this week. Should I go back to him? But then I was like, oh, those irons. His putting was there. It's just I think he's gonna be, because of what he did last week. He's cheaper. I think he'll be one of the higher owned 6K guys because he's super cheap.
So many people down here. I don't know.
Yeah, but no one's played. Like, name me a guy. He's 6,300. He was 6,500 last week. He's 6,300 this week after he made the cut, and he had a reasonable showing. Like, no one I don't mind him.
I don't know.
I played him last week. I don't mind him. I think he's fine for his. Like, he just need to make the cut, and he did it last week. It is a strong field. What?
I feel like, I don't know, maybe I feel like you're giving people too much credit that they're gonna focus in on Norlander super cheap after making the cut for 1 week. I don't know. Maybe I just think
maybe
they are.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
That's just me. I have no problem with it. It's not like he's gonna be 30% owned.
Yeah. No. I
have no problem with a Norlander play. I mean, I played him last week. Why would I have any different?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's same course.
Oh, JJ's asking about your boy.
Oh shit!
He spelled it so wrong.
Oh my god! What about Jazz?
I don't know whose name is that, but I know who he's talking about. That's your boy. Are you gonna play your boy that I say sucks at golf?
Jazz Jane Watson on again. Also, the 30th best golfer in the world. I just want to
where he gained all of his rankings in the Asian League. The Japanese too.
Dude, OWGR, man, it's still a thing.
But missed 3 straight cuts. He hasn't made a cut.
I know. No, I'm
Look at his numbers.
I'm not. Okay, I got lucky once. I got lucky once on Jazz Jane Watson.
What was that? The PGA Championship last year where he finished 14th? Because I think you were on him that week for some weird. I was on him that
week, and he was in.
I knew it.
He was in second place going into Sunday and played in a group with Brooks Koepka, who won the event.
Yeah, well, Brooks Koepka wins majors. That's it.
He is. And I was there, and I watched him play, and he is a very tiny man, but
he's probably like a CT Pan.
Yeah. Sure.
JJ, correct his spelling on him if you want to look at that.
Yep. No, I think that's close. It's closer. It's definitely closer. I think all the right letters are there. Jane Twafandu Tenuwasta Soda. I think all the right letters are there. You're getting close. Yeah, no Jazz.
So do you even have any 6K guys that you're going to play?
I mean, Norlander, maybe. God bless you, How, maybe. Ches?
Ches played better than I thought last week. He played well.
Yeah.
But I think that's his first event where I'm like, wow, you played good, Ches.
Yeah, that's my
concern. He's made 3 straight cuts.
That's kind of where I'm at with that.
I miss old Ches. Old Ches, I miss Ches of last year where he was just that's the Ches I miss. And then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna switch up my clubs. Had a good year. I'm gonna switch up my clubs so I can play bad.
This is working too well. I'm gonna make this.
I don't want to make people jealous, so I'm gonna play worse with these new clubs.
Who else? Nesmith, maybe. No Higgs. Yeah. I think I'm going to give Harry Higgs.
Oh, thank God. He sucks. How did Russell Knox do? Oh, Russell Knox. He's won an event. Oh, wait. He's missed 8 straight cuts. Make it 9.
Well, what are the odds of him getting to 10?
Well, not this week because he's not playing.
I know, but next week.
Oh, my God.
I don't even know.
Next week. I don't know. Probably 10. I'd say 10. Unless there's 10 people playing, and even then he'd somehow miss a cut.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Yeah, there's not a ton down here. I'm going to do some more digging tomorrow before my article comes out, but there's not a lot down here.
Okay.
What do you got?
I got my play. It is obviously Christian Bezuidenhout. Even though it sounds German, he is South African. Projected at no ownership. No one's going to own him. He's only made 1 of 3 cuts since the break. Concerning, but in 2 of those events, he gained strokes on approach and putting. He's not a great off the tee guy, but he makes up for it on the green and going into the green. Last event at the Rocket Mortgage was the first event where he lost strokes in his 5 fully recorded events on approach and putting, which was strange because it was the easiest field he's ever played in, easiest course and easiest field he's ever played in, and he played the worst. That makes sense. I'm going back to him here. I played him at 7,200. I played him at 8,000, and now he's the cheapest. Yes, I'm going to play Bazoon now. Max Homa played him last week where he missed the cut by 1 stroke. He almost chipped in from the rough to make the cut, but that would have been too good. That doesn't happen to me on the last hole. My guy doesn't birdie on the last hole to make cuts, like Sanjay M.
Yeah. 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, I want to go back. I didn't mention Sanjay M because Sanjay M, he is super cheap, but he's been playing terrible. He actually should not have made 2 cuts.
He's getting lucky. Yeah.
He birdied the last hole in 2 events to make the cut on the cut line. Now, eventually it's going to come back. If you think he's going to come back this week, go ahead, because the talent is there. But I wouldn't go heavy on him if you want to play Sanjay M until it's like he could come back and play like he was before. But I'm a little concerned on it's just been bad.
Yeah. Also, while
he's young.
While we're mentioning things, this is an invitational field this week, everyone. So we do have a slightly smaller field than we've seen recently. Like 130 golfers, I think I counted. So
I thought it was 120.
I think it's like 130-ish. So if it's top 65 in ties, we could easily see like 50% of this field make the cut. So we can get a little squirrelier than usual with some of our decisions down low because again, if we can expect around 50% of the field to make the cut. We have 20 less golfers this week, which should theoretically increase the number of 6 of 6 and 5 of 6.
Depending how many chalk.
How the chalk.
It all depends on the chalk.
Yep.
But Max Homa, anyways, he did play this event last year, came P37th. He gets to play this course back-to-back weeks. I mean, he barely missed the cut. Stronger field, less people, so goes hand in hand, I guess. Jason Duffner played him last week solely on only because he's played very well at this course. Game 56. But now he was 6,800 that week. Last week, 6,500 this week. That's fine. Just make at 6,500. If you make the cut, get my streamers out for you. At this event over the last 4 years, he's made the cut 4 of the 5 times. He won it in 17, T7th last year, cut in 18th. So has played amazing here 2 of the past 3 years, and he's basically a course history play. I'll go back to Emiliano Grillo.
No.
Didn't work. Yeah, he missed it. It did not work last week. His irons weren't as good as I hoped, which was the bad thing. His off the tee was bad. Like, he lost strokes off the tee. It was bad. Putting. Lost 2 strokes putting. That's a good week. For Emiliano. But at this event over the last 4 years, he's made 4 straight cuts with a top 25, a top 15, and a T9th last year. Same thing as Duffner. Better courses, better but not better course history. I don't know. These 2 guys are hand in hand. It's like they both could easily miss the cut, but if they're also have played really well at this event and course, other than last week.
Just forget about
count last week didn't happen. That's 156 golfers. There's a difference. But yeah, I like this week more than I did last week. Just because you have it is a stronger field. There's not. I do feel like the pricing is fair. Some guys I was like Leishman has played really well at this event, but my God, has he looked terrible lately.
Yeah, holy cow.
Like I wouldn't hate you for playing Leishman. I'm just not gonna play him in my main 5 lineups.
I mean, how could he play worse?
I mean, it's like, okay, the second event, it's like, oh, you need irons and putting? That's Leishman. Makes a cut and is terrible on the weekend. Okay, Leishman, you played really well at this course. Oh, 5 over.
Yeah.
Okay, same thing. Bags. I think he has 2 top 10s in the last 5 years here. It's like, well, so does Jason Duffner. But I can get him for 1,300 less and probably the same. Seems like at this point, the same odds of you making the cut.
Did you talk about Troy Merritt?
I did not. I looked at Troy Merritt, though, and I was like, whoa, Troy Merritt. It, like, popped off for a second because he's played well here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's made, like, 4 of the last 5 cuts.
But I looked at him making the cuts is the weird. Have you looked at what he's done to make cuts?
Yeah.
So, in his past, let's just go past all these 4 events. And except for last week, the 3 events before that, the Rocket Mortgage, a top 10, he lost 3.6 on approach, but gained 5.3 on putting. In all those 3 events, lost strokes on approach, gained strokes on putting, and actually lost. He made the cut and lost 6 strokes tee to green, making the cut. Probably played way better on Thursday and Friday than he did Saturday and Sunday, but
yeah, sure.
And then last week makes the cut and finally gained strokes in approach, and he goes up to 7.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, exploded.
What? And then goes down on putting. Still gained strokes putting, but went down putting and is off the tee after going back-to-back weeks. Gaining strokes, goes back to losing strokes, but has his best tee to green game since the break. I'm not a Troy Merritt guy. I mean, these numbers are just like, what do you expect out of him in this week?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's cheap. He might make the cut. I mean,
yeah, at that price, he just needs to make the cut. And at 6K range, if you're like, I'm playing this guy, someone mentioned VJ Singh. It's like, if it's not VJ Singh, then I'm fine.
It's VJ.
Ernie Els. VJ Singh, Ernie Els, they can make the cut. I'm not going to guess on when. The only old guy I would consider playing, if I'm picking old people, is Mickelson, But the only reason I would mention Mickelson, I'm not going to play him in any of my main lineups, but it's just because if you look, he's gained strokes on approach the past 2 weeks. He actually played really well here. He lost 4 strokes on putting. He lost 4 strokes on putting this week. Last week. What?
Jim Furyk? What about old man Jim?
Jim. I don't for a pump play. I don't mind Jim Furyk. I think he could be in your cash article for a 6K guy.
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
Yeah, because Jim Furyk his irons have been there in these 3 straight events. Putting has been back and forth off the tee. At least his irons have been consistently good over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah. But apparently his around the green killed him last week, which is super weird.
Yes, he lost 3.7 strokes around the green, which is not Jim Furyk-esque. He'll have bad weeks. I'm going back through. I just went back through to 2008, and that was his worst around the green play in over 12 years.
Wow. Just had a bad week.
Bad. In over 12 years, that was his worst chipping performance in over 12 years. It could be even longer. That's as far as back as it goes. It's 2008 for fully recorded things.
Yeah. I'm just a Jim Furyk mark. That's all.
When he's on. He's not going to impress you. He'll just creep up a leaderboard.
Yeah.
But
he's
pretty cheap too. Even in these events, he's been 7,000.
Yeah.
So
he'll find the fairway. He'll hit it close to the green in 2 or 3 shots, and then chip it for par. He's good at hard events because he doesn't really shoot himself in the foot too much.
Yeah.
So I mean that's all I got. You got anything else?
No. Wait. No. Wait.
English is chalk.
I see 10%. I see 10%.
So yeah.
Like I guess for the 7K range, he is one of the projected higher owned guys for the 7K range. I'll give you that, but not like chalk.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way Harris English is chalk.
Or Rafael Cabrera way too cheap if he gets going. All the big three Spaniards in the same.
You could say Scott Harrington is way too cheap if he gets going.
I'm not like Bello. Just in the past year,
has done it
for his name.
Yeah.
But just even the past 12 rounds has been bad. Like, I don't know what happened because I don't know what happened to Bello.
Yeah, he just.
I like playing Bello. He was I like playing him, but
he was kind of a douche at the PGA when I.
Yeah, but who's more of a douche, him or Sergio?
Oh yeah, Wes. You were asking about Straka, right? Wasn't Wes?
Yeah.
Was that who it was?
Talk about Straka. What's up with this guy?
Yeah, so he's been making a bunch of cuts lately and playing pretty well. He hasn't played here, but at least in my model, all of his numbers are super solid. Nothing is overly terrible, right? Like we talked about that, no red numbers. Everything is blue and green. Just solid all-around game for 7K with a guy who's been playing decently well and making cuts lately. That's what it is for me. I mean, a T14 last week, a T8 before that, missed a cut at the Travelers, and then T33 at the RBC. I missed a cut at the Charles Schwab.
In my model, he's 18th.
Oh, wow. He's like 38th in mine.
I have approached tee to green ball striking, a little bit of short game, 450 to 500. Opportunities game, greens and regulation. Off the tee and sand saves, and his worst one is opportunities gains at 54th.
Okay. That's I have approach, fairways, gain, driving distance, greens and reg, ball striking, scrambling, tee to green, 450 to 500, and procs, 175 to 200. And his worst is fairways gained. But he seemed to
What is it at?
What's that?
What's his fairways gained at?
77.
And that's last 24 rounds?
Yeah, I bumped my.
I think, but I think his driving gains have been a little bit better over since the break.
Yeah, he's pretty good at distance wise. So he's not terrible accuracy, but he's pretty good distance. So
yeah,
if you get into that first cut, it's not as terrible as fucking burying your ball in the really thick stuff.
Yeah,
but
and he played here last week.
Yep, but he'll probably wind up being the chalk bomb this week. He'll be the one that's like 30% in cash. In cash.
3%. I don't know. Sepp Straka is not chalk. No one's ever boasting over Sepp Straka. They're like, this guy is the play.
I don't know.
Like I like playing Sepp Straka at birdie courses because that guy at birdie courses, Sepp at birdie courses can just dominate him or somehow shoot 8 over. That I swear, Sepp Straka will be like 8 under and then be like 5 over. I'm like, what? How? But
all right, well, that's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got. Anything else out of you?
That man can't do any worse.
Damon. So that's true. Also.
Well, I guess you could, but realistically,
technically, you can always do worse. But whatever.
So I could have shot 16 over last week and played golf for free.
Yeah, I think I shot 16 over today when I played. So, no, I shot like 30.
At mini golf.
Shot like
at the par 3 course.
No, real golf course.
Yeah, from the junior tees.
I did make birdie. No, the tips, fucker. So, come on. I did make a birdie, though, so that's all that matters.
Of course, you're playing at tips are probably like 5,800 yards.
Yeah, probably. I didn't add them up, but So, all right, Nation, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you click that thumbs up, give us a follow, a subscription. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at BrewMedic47. Shockey is at Clint Petrakis. Because that's his name, Clint Petrakis. So hit us up, follow the nation. We got packages dropping for the sports that are resuming. There's an all access that's a fucking unbelievably good deal. I'm a little upset that they left hockey out, but you know there'll certainly be some hockey stuff when that picks up.
August 1st.
Dude, it's gonna be all day hockey. I'm so excited. All day. Start at noon.
And I like it because the Rangers are going to be the first team to lose on the first day back.
That's not gonna happen.
Yes, it is. They suck at hockey.
The Canes are any better?
Yes, they get Dougie Hamilton back.
Oh, great! Yeah, we have Zibanejad, Panarin, Shesterkin. Shesterkin is a brick wall.
You get a bunch of poor defensive guys, so good for you.
We have decent defensive. We got Foxy. We have Trouba. Come on, we have decent defensemen.
Okay, that's all I was looking for. I don't blur my background for the last 2 seconds.
All right, there you go.
Okay,
all right.
That's hockey. That's different.
Won't you guys read the chat? No wonder there's only 15 people watching. Watch Sal and also to see how it's done. We've been talking with the chat the entire time. Or Stanley. We just talked about Bello. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of a delay, dude. So when we see it to when we talk about it, there's a little bit of a delay. So it's all good, my man. It's all good. So, all right, Nation. We'll catch you guys next week. Take it easy. Thank you for tuning in. Hit us up if you need anything from us. We're in Slack. We're on Twitter. Whatever you guys need, we are here for you. Shockey, any other final words before we sign off?
Good luck and hopefully you cash big.
There you go. There's your slogan. All right, Nation.
Yep.
Take it easy, everyone. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah.